They are a very good team, but it is about us. What we are going to do. I think we are better than them. We just have to go out there and show who we are. If we are out there winning with a winning mentality, if we are focused, if we stay compact and united, we follow the game plan, we'll win that match. Of course, it won't be easy, but I think we are better than them. This is the first stone that Andre Onana threw at Olympique Lyon. Now, in the course of today, Olympique Lyon had their press conference, and Nemanja-Matic was the one who represented them. You know, normally during the European competitions, there is a coach and then there is a player. Now, the player who represented them was Nemanja-Matic, and he was asked about Andre Onana's question, and this was his response. Onana said, "They are way better than us. When you are the worst goalkeeper in Manchester United."
Oh, you mean Matic said, right? Matic
said, you need to take care of what you are talking about. If it was Van der Sar, Michael De Gea saying that, but Onana is one of the worst. It didn't end there. Then Onana came. I would never be disrespectful to another club. We know that tomorrow will be a difficult game against a strong opponent. We focus on preparing a performance to make our fans proud. At least, I lifted trophies with the greatest club in the world. Some can't see the same.
Violence.
See, we were just ready for a very normal game. Then from nowhere. So this is how I start today's edition of United and Everything. This is the drama that has been unfolding today, where Andre Onana, Nemanja-Matic have been in a war of words. As a fan, I want to ask you this question. Leave it in the comment section. What do you think about this? Who is right? Who is wrong? Or what
is it fair? Is it fair?
Is it fair? Anyway, we are here to talk about that and talk about the game proper. Unfortunately, as at the time we are recording, we've not had United's press conference yet, so we are not too sure. But I'll be running you by the number of players that have traveled to represent United in this game and every other news that has come. So I'm sure by the time we are releasing it, there will be a few of the press conference quotes, so we'll be using it or scrolling that down there for you to know exactly what is happening. Probably Ruben Amorim will also have a reaction to it. We'll be doing that. Kwame, great to have you on the podcast once again.
It's an absolute pleasure to be here today, honestly.
I know everyone that is fight, you want to be there.
I love violence.
This is major drama. Where did we sleep for? I mean, I didn't see it coming. Earlier on, we had read a few of Matty's quotes with Athletic and Dimittin, to be very specific, where he talked about where United have been and whatever we are doing and everything in between. But from nowhere, where this pops up.
Talk about selling a tie. The Europa League people, UEFA will be happy. They'll be like, yes, they like the money.
Because this is the biggest club in the world, arguably. Okay, one of the biggest clubs, arguably, in the world.
And in the competition, for sure.
And in the competition, I've been engaged in this. When Matty said, today we are not going for a break, we are just starting the show. No break.
Mm-hmm.
Let's
get on with it.
Let's get on with it. You know, when Matty spoke, I saw a bit of a Jose Mourinho. I felt he wanted to provoke something. He wanted to, you could see.
Well, he's doing a job for us. Do you think he's doing a job for us?
You get it. Let's see.
You're a smart guy.
He's probably, that's my thinking. He's probably thinking, Lyon can't win the competition. But let me provoke.
Let me inspire them to do it.
That team that I once represented to see.
I genuinely don't think that's what he was aiming at. I think he was disgusted by the fact that he has been in the club and he knows the standards of the club. Earlier on, like you said, he has spoken with Andy Mitton and said the standards weren't the same as he was expecting when he came to meet the football club. But he knows the history.
Mm-hmm.
And he knows United shouldn't be anywhere near where we are. This is the worst United side in Premier League history.
Yeah.
And you have one of their goalkeepers who has been one of the worst players over the past couple of seasons, taking a job at another team when we have not actually been great.
Absolutely.
There are people who are looking at this in two ways. Others are looking at it like the way you said it could inspire us, but others are also saying, from nowhere, you've brought pressure for us. Like there was no pressure.
As a United fan, why should you be afraid of pressure? Why you think
exactly?
Humility is not going to win you anything.
Well, fair enough. But then here we are. The pressure is here, and the pressure is on. See, my honest thought on it is it should not have started in the first place. But you know me. Once a street fight starts, there are no rules. If you bring a knife to a street fight and somebody decides to bring a machine gun, don't complain. So Matic's response, it's in order. Like he called it what it is. You have been one of the worst goalkeepers ever. It's a fact. But even before Onana clapped back, I typed on Twitter and said, "Senior man, it is true. Nobody's saying it's not a factor. But you at United, you didn't even win anything. It didn't even take long for Onana to drop that same bar. Massa, you've not won anything. At least I've won something," which is also a fact. For 6 years, I say Nemanja was the prefect of our failure. I've been saying that in the past. Like, he didn't win anything. He's one of the few top players who came to the club at an unfortunate time and didn't win anything. He had his reasons for that, the whole Europa League thing. He spoke about only making a mistake, not playing him and all that. But at the end of the day, he came out with Zilch. He's had a fantastic career. But we will judge him as fans, as United fans, by what he did at the club, and he didn't win anything. At least Onana won something.
Not to cut you, I mean, it's quite interesting for a player like Matic, because he's sandwiched in between a period where we won some cups and then a period where we win some cups.
Jose Mourinho was winning, and then he came in and then we stopped winning.
Exactly. Then so Jose Mourinho came in.
Only left. And then Ten Hag started winning.
Came in and then he started winning. He found himself in a very, very sad period in the club's history where things, I mean, that was one of the lowest in terms of our moment. I mean, we've been on the decline. Sometimes we go so deep, then we win something, and then it just brings us a little bit. Then we go so deep again, and that's exactly where we find ourselves at the moment, where we are not playing so well. But it looks as if we're always in a running for something, and Matic couldn't win anything for Man United.
We are capped him, and in his time we couldn't even win a cup. Which is sad.
It's just sad. I mean, it will pain.
I think he went for 2 cup finals: FA Cup final, Europa League final.
Yes, FA Cup final under Jose Mourinho against Chelsea, and then the only cup final. Very, very sad. Very, very, very sad.
Hey, fair shots, fair play to both of them. We needed some excitement. They're giving it to us. Roll on to the game.
But Kwame, I still on the Matic thing. I mean, to think that a player of my caliber, a player of my quality, played for one of the biggest clubs, one of the historic clubs, and never win a trophy for them. I'm sure Onana knows that, and that's why he targeted.
Oh, of course. He was very, very specific. Good job. Absolute fantastic job. I mean, he came with a knife, Matic came with a machine gun, and then Onana came with an atomic bomb. It's all over.
You see, I'm enjoying. I'm enjoying it because what Onana said was basically something very, general. I mean, to the club, not to a specific player. And the player was asked, and he ignored whatever and went straight to the player with a knife. And he said, "Oh, okay, hold my beer. Me too, I have a knife." We can do the street fight.
Fair play. Absolutely. It's fantastic. What you don't want to see now is that Onana starts, and that's an Onana. We beg him from this. Don't do an Onana, because if you do an Onana, the L is just too big for us. I mean, imagine the trolls.
Yeah.
He sets himself up, but then you would wish that this rather motivates not just him, but the side to get over this tie. I think we should get into the tie and probably speak more into detail because it's a crucial one. This competition means a lot. Fonseca said it. He said, it means a lot to us, but it means far more to Manchester United because this is their only route to Champions League football. He knows the size of club that we are and how important it is to play Champions League football. And this coming from an opposition manager. So you can imagine. We have to win it.
Let's get into that game. I just want to run us by the players that will be making the trip as I speak to you or as we record this podcast right now, the players are on their way to to go and then board the airplane and then
France, yeah, yeah.
yes. So the goalkeepers are Altai Bayende, Tom Heaton and Andre Onana. The defenders we have at the moment, Harry Amas, Diogo Dallo, Patrick Dogu, Jadon Camerson, Kukonki, Lindelof, Maguire, Mazraoui, Shaw, and Len Yoro. In midfield, we have Casemiro, Ericsson, Bruno Fernandes, Maino, or Kobe Mainu, sorry. I was going to mention the way the white people mention it, Maino, but it's Mainu.
Mhm.
Morehouse, Mason Mount, and Manuel Ugarte. In attack, the lucky three. Garnacho, Højlund, Zegzi. These are the players that will be represented.
Yeah. God have mercy. God
Unfortunately,
have
that
mercy.
Chido couldn't get himself into. He wasn't registered for the competition. I think there's some rules that sort of
Yeah.
make it possible for him
No,
to.
we had already exhausted the number of
A number of
players that we could register from Nana 21s. We
that.
didn't think that we would need him because as at the time, I think we hadn't settled on the players who were leaving the football club. There was still Rashford around, Anthony around. We could have filled the squad, but then that's one thing you notice from this squad. It's quite thin.
Very
It's
thin.
quite thin.
Let's analyze it. What do you make of the squad that we have?
It's a thing. It's been pruned usually, normally. At the second half of the season, the squads always look like that because now the managers have a very good idea as to who fits how they want to play and then who they want to go into the business end of the season with. Then often two players who are not playing leave on loan in January for more game time or whatsoever. And in our case, that's exactly what happened, where you had some senior forwards leaving on loan. And we've also had some bad injuries to the likes of Martinez and Haven at the back. I think Shaw just got back, right? Shaw just got back into contention. He's in the squad. So it's been pruned, and we didn't replace those players in the markets. So this is just what we have now. We've just filled in the rest with academy players, right? But it tells you that going into the summer, we need players because I counted the number of senior players that are available in the squad. There are 17. Normally, you would want a squad of about 24 to 26 players. It shows you how short that we are in terms of senior personnel. There would also be players in the squad currently who didn't probably be there next season. The likes of Lindelof, Casemiro, Ericsson, they might not be there. You know what I'm trying to say? Who knows whether our three forwards would all be there next season. But whatever be the case, we shouldn't just have three forwards at the club anyway. We should probably have 6. So we have to add. We have to complement the squad with more quality. That's how I see it. I'm sure we'll get into this, but I've just seen this. Just so we talk about it before we forget later. There is breaking news. Liam Delap. More details about his contractual situation at Ipswich. In fact, his transfer fee drops to £30 million if Ipswich are relegated. If they stayed in the Premier League, he would have cost £40 million. So there's even more attraction for clubs to try and nip him up in the summer. And the front runners for him are Chelsea and Manchester United. I'm sure we'll get. I want us to talk more details.
We'll talk about it. So let's finish the Lyon part and then we'll get to that. Yeah. So I'm just doing a quick look up at the head-to-head. I mean, preparing for this episode. In the Champions League, for instance, I think we've met 4 times and they've never beaten us. It's been 2 wins and 2 draws. As far as my memory serves me, I don't remember Lyon ever beating Manchester United.
I think the last time we faced them may have been in the 2008 2009 season.
2007-2008 Champions League season where
where we're going to the Champions League finals there.
Yes, we beat them
Ronaldo, Tevez, those people.
We beat them 1-0 at home and then we drew 1-1 in France.
1-1,
Yes. Apparently, we've not beaten them at home at their home grounds before. It's always ended draw. So 2 wins.
I also
and then 2 draws.
I also looked up their stats in the current Europa League. I think they placed 5th in the group phase. We placed 3rd, if I'm not mistaken. That's how come we're having the second leg at home. But they won 4 games, drew 3, and lost only 1. And in the knockout stage, they faced Steaua Bucharest, the team that we comfortably beat 2-0 away, Kobe Mainu, and then that thing. They beat them 7-1 on aggregate.
Yeah.
They trashed them.
They lashed them.
They are one of the top goal scorers in the competition so far.
Yeah.
So based on those statistics, they are not a bad side. But I always say to you, if you look at the competition in the Europa League, generally, let's be honest, no team should knock us out of the competition. So we should be fairly confident going into this tie that we can come out of it, especially with the second leg at home.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they have injuries to key players as well. One of our very own, Enes Nyama, has an ACL, unfortunately. But then they also have other injuries to key forwards who will not be available, at least for the first leg. But Cherki, Lacazette, Matic, the old Premier League people, they will still be around, and then maybe they may cause us a bit of havoc. But whatever be the case, we should be able to go to Lyon. My expectation is not to go to Lyon and get a draw. Unlike Spain, you know, I have an issue with going to Spain. Historically, we don't do well there. So even Sociedad, I said we'll draw. But in France, just as the last time we went to France to play against Saint Etienne in the Europa League, I expect us to go there and win. Win, and then come home and then finish the job.
That's Kwame's expectations going into that game. I feel it will be a very, very tough game. But the performances I've been seeing of us lately sort of gives me a bit of confidence. Not by way of the fact that we are not scoring much, but the gameplay. I mean, you watch and you sort of see something building in the squad where there are the moments where we are very sloppy with the ball, where we give the ball away and all of that. But normally in Europe, we have shown a lot more physicality to our sides or the way we approach the game.
We haven't lost the game, have we? We haven't lost the game. I think we played like.
I mean, when you take the European,
we've won six and 4 draws.
4 draws and all of that. And even in the games that we're drawing, aside the Porto game, where we were losing and we had to. In fact, that game, we should be winning that game, given how we started.
2-0 lead, and all of a sudden we're 3-2 down.
We had to salvage it.
Bruno had a red card.
There was a lot.
That group phase was chaotic.
It was very chaotic. I mean, the very early stages of Eric Ten Hag's season before he had to be.
Kwame, what starting 11 would you go with?
Interestingly, it's.
Because we've seen a bit of consistency with the past 2 selections. It's almost like he wants a certain structure.
I know the wing backs will be the same, right? Diogo Dalot. I expect to have the same back 3 as started in the game against Manchester City. Casemiro is in form. Playing him. I'm not too sure. The only change I think will happen in this game, as compared to the City game, will be Joshua Zexi coming in for Rasmus Højlund. That's the only change I think will happen in this game.
Okay, Joshua Zexi starting instead of Rasmus Højlund.
That's the only change.
Okay, so you have Garnacho and Bruno Fernandes left.
Bruno Fernandes, Ogati, and then Casemiro.
I agree with you.
Same back line, and
I agree with you. I agree with you. It's a good starting 11.
A good starting.
So 11. Mount and Højlund come off the bench to try and change the game for us.
When it gets a bit tougher, we can bring in Luke Shaw and other players to shore up. The back line to be able to replace some of the players.
The squad looks manageable now, right? Looks a bit manageable.
Exactly. Barring any unforeseen injury situations in a game, of course. If nothing happens, I think we should be able to manage. And there's a reason I think he took out Harry Maguire very early on in the game, because he talked about because he's coming back from an injury, and as a result, he needed to manage his.
Matthijs de Ligt is not fit.
It's still not fit.
So you have to be very careful.
You have to be very careful, and all of that. We still have Victor Lindelof, also on the bench, who can come in and do a good job when called up. So, and these are games that I think we should be able to manage. I have not watched a lot of Lyon, so it will be very difficult for me to be able to do a very good analysis of what they are going to present in the game. So, but judging from where they are placed and how they fared in the competition, it tells you there are no pushovers. And
French sides are usually physical.
Very physical.
A lot of African players.
They are going to match that, and it's like I've said. There are players in there who have all experienced the Premier League before. Maitland-Niles, what's his name? Lacazette. Nemanja-Matic, Niakate, all these players have all played some bits of Premier League. I don't know if Oriol Mangala, did he transfer or still with them? I've forgotten. I'm not too sure.
No, I don't think Mangala is still there.
Mangala is still there, yes. I think he moved back to the English Premier League or something.
It's
So
awful
they,
Mangala.
and Ryan Cherki, who is their talisman, is also a very
most assists, most chances created in the competition, I think.
So that tells you the kind of quality that they have. So it's not going to be an easy game. It's not going to be an easy game. We have to find a way to score. We have to
win. To win.
Yeah, exactly. But I doubt if we'll get.
Wait, so say, do you think Onana actually starts? Like, let's be honest. Do you think
Of course,
Onana
he has
starts?
to start. You have to start
Because when this coach came in, he sort of made Banyede the cup goalkeeper up until he got injured. The only reason why he wasn't playing the cup games is because of injury. Exactly. So now that he's fit, do you think he comes in?
He should. No. I think Onana.
I think it's possible. Okay, you think
Onana should start? I mean,
I think even because of this whole drama, I would want Banyede to start.
Coming back from injury, the rhythm of the game.
Okay,
it stakes. I mean, you would have to continue.
A bit of time.
Yes. So the stakes are very high.
If I had my way, Banyede starts tomorrow. Yeah.
The drama is needed. Anyway, let's talk about other things. You understand how football operates more than sometimes I do. So you need to stoke up a certain fire. Sometimes you build the confidence in your belly to be able to do some of these things. So it's very
enough.
Important. All right, let's look at a few other things. So a lot of conversations have been going. So we'll be looking at two things. We'll be looking at our striker situation going into the transfer market. You mentioned about Liam Delap. So this week, a news that has been coming indicates that our preferred strikers option is Liam Delap, and those that follow are Victor Osimhen and Victor Gyökeres in that order. That is how things start at the moment. It raised a lot of arguments, a lot of conversations online, a lot of analysis. For me personally, I've had my own share of what I wanted to say. Kwame has had to, but we spoke on different forums. But Kwame, what do you make of this? And especially in the light of the current news that the player will be going for 30 million instead of 40 million when Ipswich is relegated.
2 years ago, we had just come third in the league, and Ten Hag won the League Cup, had a very successful season, qualified for the Champions League, and we had a chance to sign England's all-time top goal scorer in Harry Kane. And I was begging, I was on my knees. I was just about to even go on my knees right now. Instinctively, I was on my knees begging my club to pull every stop in signing Harry Kane. This club had the opportunity to do it. It's been revealed. Benny McCarthy has come out to say it's not like we're not interested. We're actually very interested. But some way, somehow, came to the conclusion that, Rasmus Højlund has an upside, And then Harry Kane is only 30 years old. He's going to command a big transfer fee. He could probably command a lot of big wages. So let's just spend 70 million pounds of a possible 100 million euro fee on Rasmus Højlund because he'll probably earn about 80k a week, whilst you don't have to pay Harry Kane 250, 350k a week. So we went for the kid. I was heartbroken. And it's turned out to be a grave error, massive mistake. Last summer, they could have rectified this. Ineos are taking over football operations. And instead of bringing in an experienced striker, they also went in for an inexperienced striker in Joshua Zexi, who has barely had any prolific season in the same Italian Serie A that we bought Rasmus Højlund for. The two strikers combined this season haven't even scored 20 goals for Manchester United. One has scored. One has scored in all competitions, 6 and 8 in all competitions. In the league, their combined tally in the league is maximum 6 goals. I think both of them have 3 goals each in the league. After playing over 20 games each in the league. Impotent strikers. So logic would dictate that this summer, after 2 summers of making the same error by not going for somebody who is experienced enough somebody who is prolific enough, who has all the know-how of how to put the ball at the back of the net. Because what this team lacks is putting the ball at the back of the net.
Yep.
Defensively, we are not even that bad, but we just can't score goals. All I'm hearing is that we may be going in for a striker from Ipswich because he could be the future England number 9. And he costs far less and will command far less fee. I came to sit here, I'm storytelling, and then explained why this may be so. It's not like I don't understand. I know the financial implications of the football club and the reason why Liam Delap is on top of the list. But under no circumstance should we take such a risk and sell ourselves short. So the solution comes back to a topic we've already had already, which is the Europa League. Manchester United has been a team that has been an Europa League team that has been on Champions League wages. This is what we are trying to correct. That's how come Liam Delap is on top of the list. But conditionally, we've put Osimhen second. What that means to me is that if we are able to qualify for the Champions League, we can activate that Osimhen transfer. It may be conditional, it may be depending on whether we can involve Garnacho and all that, but at least we can afford the wages that he may command, because those wages are actually humongous. Yesterday, Rob Dawson was reporting as upwards of 350k a week, which to me is absurd. We're not going along those lines anymore. But even if it can be negotiated, because that is what we would want to do, into 250k a week whilst we are playing Champions League football, it is manageable. So it comes back to Ruben Amorim. If you want to be successful quickly, you don't want to waste time, like he said. He doesn't have time to waste. Do yourself a bloody favor and make sure you win the Europa League competition so that your paymasters in yours don't have any excuse. So we can stop this whole Delap nonsense and go in for the very best in either Gyökeres or Osimhen. In fact, now my preferred target is Osimhen because of his age is slightly lower, and I think he fits more what we need. We need more physicality, more pace, more heading ability,
anger,
very, very aggressive,
drive, everything.
Aggressive. You know what I'm trying to say? So, see, me, I'm not enthused by the Delap link. I understand it. That's the thing. I'm not ignorant about it. I know you also understand it completely. Understand why we have him on top of the list. But we should get a better striker. And in order to do so, in order to say to Ineos, don't give us any excuse for not going for the very best. Manchester United has to win this Europa League competition. I think I did that to it, right? I said all your thoughts.
You've done everything that I want you to do with regards to this subject, and this is what I want to add up to it. This is my analysis. See, if you get Osimhen or any top striker, we have about 3 strikers in the production line, because I'll add the Højlunds and then the the Zegzi.
Obi. So
we have about 3 players. Now you need a senior striker who would come in there, because Rasmus Højlund wouldn't come and bother us with, I want game time. You are not even playing any better. How well are you playing? Zegzi can drop into the number 10 and do his own thing and link up play and all of that. He can find another. Obi would have all the time in the world to develop and become a better player, because he would have his chances. So if you have a senior striker who you know can guarantee you
less pressure on the others,
pressure on the others, and it makes things a lot more easier. We've made a mistake once, we've made it twice. I pray we don't make it for the 3rd time. I'm not saying...
You know what is painful about this mistake is, we were in the Champions League 2 years ago, Kwame. Why didn't you just go for Kane? You were in the Champions League. Because see, if you had gone for Kane, it's about... what do they call it? There is a rippling effect of your actions. We don't do the right things at the right time. If we had signed Kane, we would have been obliged to sign somebody who is younger and who can develop. And we could have signed Delap this year to be that development striker behind the Hurricane.
There is more context to even that situation. We had a good season, qualified for the Champions League, won a trophy. We felt the ground was good, but we failed to do that. And the following season, we went to bring a 9.5, a half 9, a half 10, or whatever, to come into the squad, who is now finding his rhythm in the league or the competition that we are playing, and who is not prolific. That's the point. So this is where we are right now. So Ineos, Ruben Amorim, do yourself a good favor. Win the
Do yourself a favor.
win the competition as much anyhow. Go to Jose.
Anyhow.
He's no more in the competition. He's no more in the competition. Go and take all
Go for advice.
and the apport that you want to be able to put up some.
Do you remember Jose was so desperate? Jose was actually in a very same situation where I think we're 8th in the league or something like that. And the last few games of the season, he even dished everything. Like he wasn't even playing league games. He was concentrating.
I remember the John Guidetti miss against Celta Vigo.
Jose almost died.
He almost died. We almost died. But when we got to the final,
it's because he understood. He understood the importance of winning the competition. Because the next summer, I think we went big for Lukaku, if you remember.
We went for Lukaku. For a lot of players.
Matic, a lot of big players. It makes sense that when you're on the chapter, see, it's basic. We understand it. See, that's the thing. We want our viewers to understand that we understand the situation. It's not like we are ignorant of the situation, but we are also desperate because we are way back. The competition is not stopping. In as much as we are trying to make progress, other clubs are not stopping in their stride. Arsenal would reinforce, City would reinforce. All these Newcastles, Aston Villa, they are not stopping. So in order to catch up, we have to win this competition. I've never seen a time where one competition is so important.
It's very, very important.
And it's because we've lived this before. And your
man has won it before. Just go to him, ring him. He was your man.
Just go back to Jose Mourinho.
Around that same time that you were doing your internship at Man United. Go and then talk about it.
I've not even thought about it this way. That was so good. I've not even thought about
that same time that I was doing his internship.
Same situation. Desperate times. And he pulled it off.
Go and win it. All right. Let's look at the final one. Do you want Jadon Sancho back?
I'm glad we finally get to talk about it because I'm no longer angry. You know why?
I have about 5 minutes because
we have a lot of time. I'm not upset anymore. You know, I was upset a few weeks ago when he bought this whole freedom nonsense. But he's been so poor that now I don't even hate on him anymore. Like it's sad. In his last 15 appearances, he hasn't contributed anything. He has only had 2 shots on target in his last 15 appearances. In all competitions, he's played 31 matches. He scored 2 goals and assisted in 7. In the Conference League, that it is for start pattern. You know, Nkunku has like 10,000 goals in the Conference League. Jadon Sancho hasn't even scored a goal in the Conference League. Just 2 league goals in like two league goals. That's it. He has been deteriorating year after year. This year, there is no coach giving you stress. There is no club giving you stress. You're just showing your level. Then you know, Rich.
The environment you claim you love. You are in London.
You know, Rich.
In Manchester.
Chelsea fans thought we were being petty when we're saying this boy isn't it. But now they themselves have learnt and understood. But the sad part about it is it justifies why they should. I'm not saying they won't. They shouldn't even buy it. Because see, if he was, imagine the roles had reversed and we had a Chelsea player like
I wouldn't buy.
And
I wouldn't want to make that.
Won't buy. It doesn't make sense to buy. So I'm like, I understand why Chelsea wouldn't. They would pay a penalty and live with their bad reputation. It makes far more sense than paying 20. So what we can do, in my opinion, if I had my own way, if I was Manchester United, I'll tell them you bring 15. In fact, just bring 15 million and take it. Because he shouldn't come back to the football club for any reason. It will be hard to even offload him anywhere else. Yeah. It will be very, very hard. So Chelsea should please, I don't know, or probably I should wish that he turns his form around. In fact, I should turn into a Jadon Sancho supporter for the next
it will help. It will save all
form around.
Because you know you
score some few goals. Score some few goals. I mean, he will score the goal at Stamford Bridge. Do you know what? He has more goals at Stamford Bridge for Man United than he has for Chelsea. 1 goal at Chelsea has 0 goals. This is terrible. I mean, how can you be that bad?
So he's never celebrated a goal in front of the
Chelsea. He's never celebrated a goal in front of his home fans before. I mean, how can you be? See, so I'm begging him, at least, of course, now I'm a supporter. At least score some 2 or 3 goals before the season ends so that to convince them to give us our money. What's I don't know. Yeah, what's too much? You can't be this. I mean, Rashford is doing well. Anthony is doing well. There are players who are doing well and they will probably bring us cash.
Exactly.
They've been on loan for 2 successive seasons. Probably more than that. And then still we can't get rid of you because you're just so poor everywhere.
The teams are now planning on ways in which they can keep a player.
They're desperate to keep him. Look,
I mean, see the number of
Dortmund literally
interviews
just
they are
said
granting.
goodbye. Dortmund were like, goodbye, we don't want anything to do with you anymore. Dortmund, your own club, they even want you.
He's a mentally
has
weak player. Mentally, he's not up there. I mean,
he's not it. He's not it.
Rashford has turned his season around. Now in the team. Now
he's even attracting interest from PSG,
again. Yes. That tells you the kind of player.
And then there was you. 25 million pounds. That one cry. You don't even want that.
It's not serious.
Because what's that?
It's not serious.
Guys, poor.
That's how we draw down the curtain for today's episode of the Fire for Fire, Pound for Pound edition of United Everything Football between Andre Onana and then Nemanja-Matic. What will be the action tomorrow? Well, we'll see what happens. We'll be here after the game. Tomorrow we have a special guest. Barring any unforeseen circumstance, we have a special guest who will be joining us. Not a Ghanaian. So we'll be having a special guest join us here on United and Everything Football. Thank you very much for being a part of the podcast. Remember to like, subscribe, and also comment and share with your friends and share your comments on what you think about Andre Onana and everything here on United and Everything Football. We've always told you can be a part of the podcast. Just send us your videos after the games, so that we can play it. Just 1 minute video of yourself describing how you feel about certain games and everything. So remember, always be a part of the podcast. My name is Kwame. I'll say with Kwame. We'll see you on the next one. Have a great time. Bye bye.